invitation. I'm here with my friend, Mr. Mission and Ministry Pumpkin. And today's reading from Matthew is an interesting one. A lot of people say that this is the whole reading that says that you have to pay your taxes because Jesus specifically says, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. And it's also a scripture that gets misused a lot. A lot of people say that it means that you should never speak out against the government even when it's unjust. But I want to take sort of a separate look at it all together, because I think what happens in this reading before Jesus starts picking up cash money and saying, give this to whoever, is what happens earlier. So the Pharisees say that they're going to try to trap Jesus, and he says specifically, they come up, Teacher, we know that you're a truthful man, and you teach the way of God in accordance with the truth. And you are not concerned with anyone's opinion, for you do not regard a person's status. Then tell us, what is your opinion? Is it lawful to pay the census tax to Caesar or not? So when you get kind of that smarmy tone in there, I think what's really happening in the gospel comes out, which is basically Jesus has been spending most of his ministry talking about the fact that you shouldn't look at someone's status, that you should realize that people who were previously thought to be outcasts in society were really important members, and that it's not about your status, it's not about how important you are, it's not about the money, it's about being a child of God. And what happens is the Pharisees basically are trying to trap him because he's saying something that could totally revolutionize the social order. And they're saying basically, well, you specifically said that you're not about status. And so if you're not about status, then clearly what that means is that you don't respect the emperor and that you don't respect authority. And that if you don't see someone's status, what that means is that, you don't respect people who are in positions of power and you think less of them. And that's why Jesus gets pretty snippy with them, and he specifically says, why are you testing me, you hypocrites? Because Jesus knows exactly what they're doing. He knows that they're not actually concerned about whether or not he pays taxes, that they're trying to twist his words and take something really beautiful and make it something really destructive. And so he takes the dollar and hands it up and says, look, whose picture is on here? And they're like, well, Caesar's. He's like, then fine. Give to Caesar's what belongs to Caesar's, Go ahead and render unto him what belongs to him, be respectful. But what Jesus is really trying to say is, look, my message was never about stripping people down. It's about building us all up. And particularly when we think about that as the message of the gospel. When we render unto Caesar, when we have discussions about how we're going to rework our budget, maybe we should be thinking about the people who Jesus said we shouldn't judge according to their lowly status. Maybe we should be thinking about how do we build everyone up to a point of security and stability and not about tearing people down.